We're in the middle or even early stages of what I would call the big shift, the fundamental change in our global business landscape. The reason I'm here at i4j is basically one of the key elements of this big shift, these changes that are going on, is that the current jobs we have, I believe, are increasingly threatened. And so the transition is potentially a very painful and strained one. And I think the question is, can we ease the path in terms of innovation to create new jobs and to make the existing jobs more sustainable? The way we have defined work in large companies, I'm talking about traditional large companies, I mean, we wanted efficiency, so we wanted predictability, we tightly specified the activities, all the activities, we standardized all the activities, and we tightly integrated all the activities. What we've just done, if that's the way we define work, a computer algorithm, that's what a computer algorithm does. So I think the question is, what are we defining as work? And the way traditional companies have defined work, yes, robots increasingly will do that far better and more reliably and predictably than we humans can. So large traditional companies, one of the ways I characterize the shift is moving from a model of scalable efficiency, which is that model of tightly defining the work and standardizing it, to a model of scalable learning, where basically the reason you come in together in a large company is because you learn faster. And in a very tangible way, one thing that a company can do if they took that seriously is apply design thinking and design methodologies to the work environment and say, if accelerating learning and performance improvement is my primary goal, what would the work environment look like? You know, how would I redesign that? Not just the physical environment, but the virtual environment, the management systems, the entire worker experience. How would I redefine that so I could accelerate learning? It would change the structure, it would change the connections. I mean, one of the key issues, if you take scalable learning seriously, is the famous quote by Bill Joy, no matter how many smart people you have within your organization, just remember one thing, there are a lot more smart people outside your organization. And so if you're truly committed to scalable learning, you have to find ways to connect, move beyond the four walls of your enterprise and connect out so that you're learning faster with a lot of smart people that are not in your organization. From our experience, look in the US, look in Silicon Valley, look in even Western economies in general, it's not there. The scalable learning, the most interesting scalable learning by large companies is actually being done in China and India. So here's an example, a company called Li & Fung. Who's heard of Li & Fung? Turns out in the apparel industry, they're a big deal. Their revenue is about $23 billion, and growing very rapidly, double-digit rates. They operate, their customers are apparel designers. And basically, they take care of everything from sourcing of raw materials through all the stages of production to delivery to whatever retail distribution center you specify anywhere in the world. Interesting thing is Li & Fung does none of that themselves. They operate through a global network, and it's truly global, everywhere in the world, 15,000 business partners. We spent a lot of time interviewing those business partners, and we asked them one key question, which is, why are you part of the Li & Fung network? Without exception, without prompting, the answer we got back from every one of the partners we interviewed, because we learn faster as part of the Li & Fung network than we ever could on our own or as part of anyone else's network. I've interviewed a lot of partners of Western companies. I have never gotten that answer. This is playing out over time, so we're still in the very early stages of this. But one of the interesting things that we find is if you shift your focus from scalable efficiency to scalable learning, now it actually fosters a degree of collaboration where it's not a dog-eat-dog world. Part of the issue with the way capitalism is operated in the scalable efficiency model is there's a given set of resources, and the key challenge is who's going to get what portion of those resources. If you move to a scalable learning model, now the resources are going to expand rapidly because you're learning and adding more and more value to the marketplace. It definitely changes the power dynamics. I mean, I think one of the key things that we see in this big shift is, again, if you think about traditional companies, yes, their focus was on shareholder value, but their focus was also just on defining the role, and your job as a human being was to fit into the role. Now, in this new model of scalable learning, it's actually much more about the individual and what does the individual need to learn faster. And the organization has to mold itself around the individuals. And again, the fastest learning occurs when you have collaboration, not when you have an individual sitting in a cubicle somewhere all by themselves. I think increasingly it offers the potential through new kinds of platforms to draw in people who have been marginalized in the past.